Hey, and we are back in another, what is this, a semi-final? Something like that. Anyway, we've got Garzerlake with the Vega and MDM on Higaran. In the first match, we're taking it to the Badlands. Badlands, it's a pretty good name. Talks about this map before, we've seen it quite a number of times. Obviously it's not in Sarum, it's obviously in Balcora, because you can see Balcora like black holes all over the place. It's a kind of a poorly named map, but it sounds cool. So, anyway, this was MDM's pick. He did actually mean to... I believe he meant to ban a different map than the one he banned. He actually ended up banning Sarum Dust Clouds, and then he tried to pick it. So I think he got confused with the rules or something like that. But he was okay with continuing as is, so we have taken it over here to the Badlands for the game 1. So MDM is over here in the yellow. Very nice, very nice. He's playing Higaran, he's locked in on Higaran. And over here, in the black and the black, double black and the red, we have Garzerlake. Now Garzerlake got a bye coming into his bracket because he did well enough that he ended up in the upper third of the losers bracket. So this is his first game, I believe, in quite a while, since the group stage at least. Opening with these two probes but not using them. Also an extraordinarily fast fighter facility. Very interesting. Probe from MDM being sent across the map here. Probably going to end up in this dust cloud. Now, what is the profile of these two players? You know, what do they like to do? What do they like to play like? I'd say Garzerlake is too new to really have a solid profile. I think he prefers macro games, but I really can't tell at this point. I haven't really seen enough of him. I think he's still discovering things about the game. As for MDM, MDM sort of plays a balanced style with a very strong favouring on pulsars and destroyers. He also likes to make a lot of bombers. So don't be surprised if you see just random bombers coming out from this guy. Both players expanding about equally here. I think Garzerlake is slightly ahead, although his flagship is of course struggling greatly to get on top of this patch. That is just part of playing Vega, really. This early fighter facility doesn't seem to be being used. I think it's collectors still in production. And over here we've just got a research module. MDM actually spots this probe, which is nice for him. MDM now with that research module. Now he's positioned his mothership pretty well. It is a bit far away, but at least the orientation is correct. So he just has a research module, which could mean many things. If you see Higaran opening with a research module, that could mean Hypertorp, it could mean fast gunships, it could mean, you know, maybe they'll just keep macroing, or maybe they'll go into double interceptors. You can't really tell. As I just double check that I am actually recording. Yes, I am. Yeah, so Garzerlake still doesn't seem to be interested in making any military units, aside from this first assault craft squadron from the carrier. Of course, the flagship is in no position to be making military units because it has no facilities on it. We'll have to see how Garza expands from here. Is he going to try and take a third patch? Is he going to try and 2-base his opponent? Time will tell. MDM now with the fighter facility on his carrier, so nothing too spicy coming out from either player. Oh, and here's another thing. This is a very unique colour scheme, right? I don't think anyone's actually tried to work with brown, or I guess it's more like a old gold sort of colour, right? Looks kind of gold. I think it's pretty cool. It's not my favourite, but I don't think it's bad either. I think I prefer it to the double black, to be honest. I mean, the double black is just, you know, it's not bad, but there's no heart to it, you know? Anyway, Garzerlake with these two assault craft, they do have their speed upgrade. Still making resource collectors from his flagship. So we'll have to see if he attempts to take a third patch. I do believe he has enough collectors to justify such a move. He didn't see this... Oh, he did see this probe, okay. MDM on his end actually saw this probe. So these interceptors just flew out of range. They basically, if you have interceptors and are trying to catch a probe in a dust cloud, you want to use kamikaze, because as you can see, the interceptors flew past, went up here and lost vision of it, and then gave up. So gotta be careful with that. So he is actually going double fighters here. MDM with a very fast capital class facility. Is this going to be a carrier or a destroyer? I'm imagining we're going to see a carrier. MDM does like those carriers, the early carrier. He needs to position this carrier much better though. I mean, he's got his mothership positioned, but I mean, look how far the collectors have to travel to get to the drop-offs here, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 seconds. Just here to here, 12 seconds. You know, you really can't sleep on this sort of things, guys. This is really important. You have to put your drop-offs as close to the patch as possible. In any case, as I said, you know, here are these bombers from MDM. They do have this. No, they don't have speed. And also, unfortunately for MDM, Garza has spotted them. I'm not sure how he saw them. Actually, I think they flew past this probe, so Garza still hasn't cleared up this probe on this side. So the bomber's just getting completely annihilated here. Didn't get anything done. I'm getting some choppy frame rate. I don't know if anyone else is noticing that. Anyway, the defending interceptors from MDM finally joined the fight. They could take this fight, I think. 2 interceptors probably do beat 2 assault craft. It does, of course, depend a lot on rolls. Looks like the bombers are going to make it home safely, but only one of them survived. You know, the other one was actually cleared up. So it is that early carrier from MDM. On Garzerlake's end, you know, he's actually behind in carriers as the Vega player, which is very, very rare to see. He does have that Corvette facility, which is very interesting. I'm really not certain as to what Garza's unit composition really is going for here. He has the assault craft, and he also has these lance fighters, but I didn't see MDM making any Corvettes, so I don't know why he's made lance fighters. Especially if he's already planning to get missile Corvettes, right? Seems a bit strange, but MDM taking a bad fight over here with his interceptors. Needs to dock those, and I think he actually did dock this squadron, which is very well played. More and more interceptors joining the fray. Garzerlake could win this fight, you know, if he just grabbed all of his idling assault craft that are over here on the map and just brought them all over here. I'm having some weird frame rate drops. I don't know if you guys can notice it. I know the video is kind of frozen at the moment, but I'm just gonna try and close some stuff in the background. Just maybe try and free up some of my GPU or something. I don't know what's doing it. Anyway, we are back. Fight really kind of indeterminate at this point. You know, the ACs will win this, but does it matter? Probably not. Some lance fighters coming in to poke at some collectors. They do pretty good damage, but I don't think they do enough damage to justify managing to lose one. I think that's... I don't know about that. And the lance fighters actually might pay off themselves, because we do see gunships being made from MDM here. I prefer the gunship plus interceptor to assault craft plus lance. I think it's slightly stronger, which you'd expect it to be, because it's a higher tech, it costs more. Yeah, lance fighters do decent damage to collectors, huh? Still though, they are probably going to go down here. The fight over here was won by Garzerlake, but you know, if he swings these assault craft around onto this patch, he could actually get a lot of damage done. Because MDM on his end doesn't actually have that much here. These gunships are going to get cleared up very quickly because of these missile corvettes. The bombers here from MDM flying, as they do, straight past a bunch of assault craft. That was very interesting. They sort of flew past this while shooting. Now, what you want to do with interceptors, if you've got a losing fight like this and you have some other anti-fighter unit on the field, is you basically just want to stall for time and go evasive. Fortunately for MDM, Garzerlake has decided to go evasive himself, which is really not what he wanted to do, but he should still take this fight eventually. 3 gunships on the field now for MDM. He will start taking the fighter battle fairly convincingly, but having these missile corvettes just taking pot shots constantly at your gunships here is going to be hurting a lot. A torpedo frigate would solve this pretty handily. You know, gunships plus torps is a really strong combination for Higarans right now. The fighters from Garzerlake actually dying very rapidly, but there's just so many of them. I think it'll be quite difficult to actually secure a kill on a squadron. What's Garzerlake's follow-up? That's not a frigate, that's a mobile refinery. Okay, so he's leaving refineries behind, likely to free up his mothership here? That's the only place I can think that this refinery is actually going. It does seem like he's still just producing fighters at the back here, and of course that one's... no, two streams. 2 streams of corvettes. He does have the 2 streams of fighters and 2 streams of corvettes, but the flagship does look like it was actually building fighters, so I guess it is still just 1 stream of corvettes. But to be honest, he's got a significant lead at this point, so I don't think it's going to matter too much. I wonder if... is Garzerlake building fighters from this carrier? Oh, that's what he's been building! Oh, crikey, okay. Holding out until he got his destroyer out. That's very interesting. The problem with the destroyer in this scenario is without a hyperspace module or something like that, it's going to have a difficult time actually getting over here and pressing any issue. Right? You know, you're not going to be able to actually deal damage with it, because everything over here is just strikecraft. Garzerlake continuing to take down MDM's collectors on this patch. This one looks like it's about to go down. And it does so. MDM probably not going to be able to dock these... no, I spoke too soon. Looks like they will get the dock off. Very well played. This assault craft squadron's just going to get hammered by these gunships. They're both in prime positions to actually wipe this squadron. If the mothership targets it now, in fact it didn't even need to. A gunship actually managed to secure that kill. So Garzerlake, you know, very he's got a ton of forces back at home that weren't helping in this fight, and with the evasive strike like this, I feel like he just handed his opponent a window. You know, rather than actually killing his opponent's strikecraft, he just sort of flew around while being shot at by gunships. MDM does need to dock this gunship. Now the missile corvettes here, again guys, I have no idea if that's an armoured upgrade. I believe it may be. But MDM now pushing out with his... that is an upgraded destroyer. It doesn't have the speed upgrade, but it does have the armor upgrade. Laser corvettes coming out for Garzerlake now. They will do very good damage to the destroyer. However, the thing about laser corvettes is that they actually can get shot down by destroyer kinetic guns. Just because of the way they're constantly... like, if you look at it from the destroyer's perspective, like, their profile, it's actually not moving side to side at all. It's always like... it's basically a stationary target, right? Coming in. And that makes it very easy to hit. However, you know, now that Garzerlake's reinforcements have arrived on the field, he's finally starting to take a more convincing fight, which he should have been doing the whole time. I feel like MDM is making another destroyer. Yeah, he must be. Definitely not what you want to be doing here. Gunships plus torpedo frigates would probably be a very good solution. The only thing that I can see happening well for MDM here is that he somehow manages to kill this carrier with his destroyer. But the destroyer itself is actually getting beaten up quite badly by these laser corvettes. So, you know, Lance plus laser is going to be what MDM has on the field right now. The carrier does not have a cloak, but it is going to be able to turn away. And I think if he starts building a cloak now, he should be okay. Destroyers don't have the greatest DPS. A second destroyer joins the fight now, but it's going to be quite dicey. Would love to see MDM just grab one interceptor to kill this missile corvette squadron, because it is sitting there on 29 health. Gunship, that one is definitely trying to dock. Don't know if it's going to be able to. We've got 1, 2, I believe this is docking. 3, 4? 4. Yeah, 4 laser corvette squadrons on the field right now for Garzerlake. And look how much damage they're doing over time to this destroyer. And there's the cloak, right? So these destroyers completely ineffectual. They're really unable to deal with any of the units that Garzerlake is using here, and with the cloak they're not even going to be able to kill a carrier. As you can see, Garzerlake did leave those refineries behind and has moved all of his production forward, so he's on 1, 2, 3... There should be another carrier, right? Am I wrong? Was he on just 1 carrier that whole time? Oh no, there's the other one, sorry. So yeah, he is on... How did I not see that? It's right there. He is on 3 carriers against 2 carriers, which is not unusual in the H versus V matchup. But I feel like he has an army lead and probably an economy lead as well, so things are probably looking a bit dicey here for MDM. Destroyer goes down. If that was a scuttle, it might actually kill something, but looks like it was just a regular old kill. So now a fresh destroyer is on the field. It will have to be chipped down all over again. Finally we see some pulsars on the field for MDM, but they don't have their upgrades, so the lance fighters are going to kill them extraordinarily quickly. I believe this carrier is not shooting, right? I don't see it using its PD against these lancers. Gunship needs to dock, Interceptor needs to dock, Laser Corvettes needs to dock. Another carrier getting focused down here. It does have its cloak already, right? So this is going to be... That's just not going to happen. This destroyer is not going to be able to do anything. Garza still with the Corvettes plus fighter combination. He doesn't have any frigate modules that I can see. This could become one here though. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So he does have a proximity probe, but he sends it quite far out. I think that's too far, right? Oh no, it's just... that's fine. However, this carrier has turned around, so its engine subsystem is going to be taking most of the damage, and basically this carrier has escaped. This carrier is still up for grabs, but I think the destroyer is going to die before that. Another destroyer. Why are you... Like, you just have to think. Like, you have to stop for a second and think about the units that you're making, right? Just take a look at how they match up with your opponent's units. Are destroyers actually useful in this game? In this scenario? I'm going to say no. Unless you have a winning fight with the corvettes and the fighters, the destroyers are not going to be able to do anything, because they can't kill any of these units very well, and the carriers can just run away. Now, I must say, you know, Garzerlake does not want to overextend here. His fighters are going to die extremely quickly. There's still a gunship squadron, the carrier PD is active, the mothership PD is active. The laser corvettes will do great damage to this destroyer, but I feel like if they hang around, they are going to go down themselves. These pulsars still don't have upgrades, but they don't really need them to deal with laser corvettes. Ah, torpedo, finally. Okay, so finally we're seeing a different unit being produced by the mothership here from MDM, and it is a torpedo frigate, which is an excellent decision. Torpedo frigates trade favorably against laser corvettes in about equal numbers. In this kind of scenario, I feel like a torpedo is a bit lackluster, but just because it's got such a support network around it of like the destroyer plus the pulsars, I feel like it's a good call. If you can build up a number of like 4 or so, I feel like they keep the corvettes really in check. Garzerlake, actually, this is a very good move. He's realized he's not going to be able to kill any units here. Maybe he can kill the torpedo, but is it worth it? Probably not. So he actually just takes that time to kill a couple of collectors with the lasers. Should try and dock these now. I think that's where they're headed. Looks like they're heading towards this carrier. MDM got a small fighter lead, but then chased over here, then lost his fighter lead. Now he's being chased back. If you've got a lead and you're not planning to win the game or something, it's not always a bad idea to just pull back. Lance fighters going to tear apart these pulsars. Still don't have their upgrades. So Garza, is he on 3 patches? I believe he must be, right? Yeah, 3 patches. This is kind of half a patch, I'd say. It's only got 4 collectors on it. But he does have that econ lead, and he definitely has the production lead. Torpedoes do have their upgrades, but you know, lasers tear frigates apart. But they will trade about evenly. The way torpedoes actually can beat lasers is if they kite and split apart. But if you just leave them here, like sitting together, they take honestly, the matchup is not amazing for them. I feel like it's not bad either, but it's about even. You know, people think, oh, I lost a frigate for a corvette squadron, that was a bad trade. Not so. Like, a corvette squadron is not particularly cheaper than a frigate. Looks like this one will go down. And it looks like every single strike craft from MDM has been cleared up here. Garzerlake with some docks here, very good. He's kept these missile corvettes alive very well. He does have to watch it though, you know, you need to be replacing these laser corvettes, because if the torpedoes can start to eke out some sort of lead against them, suddenly you'll find yourself losing the corvette fight. And without the laser corvettes, the destroyers actually will be very difficult to stop. So yeah, just needs to keep focusing down the torpedoes, make sure these don't become a huge problem for him. It looks like he is in fact doing so. Laser corvette here is definitely going to go down. I think even the mothership is shooting this one. Destroyer, it looks like it's going to fall. Another gunship was produced, but there's so many missile corvettes at this point that it's going to be very difficult for it to actually get anything done before it just gets focused down. And it looks like the swarm is just overwhelming here. The destroyer is about to go down with a scuttle, perhaps, but just a kill is not going to achieve anything. Second torpedo frigate goes down, and now the collectors have no defense. There's no, in fact, I don't even see any units on the field for MDM at this point, and he indeed calls the GG. Garza calls the GG, and are we going to see a forfeit, or is he going to fight till the end? A very bloody game, I'd say. Both of these players actually scored a lot of kills. There's the forfeit, okay. So Garza taking game 1 on the Sarin Badlands. Now the next map is actually Garza's pick as well. I believe he's taking it to Angel Wing, which he's trying to make it a macro game. Kablamo. That was a scuttle as well, so he caught a couple of squadrons there. In any case, good game. Well played, Garzerlake. Nice docks. As for MDM, you know, the destroyers were a bad idea. If I had one piece of advice to give you in this game, it's to really pay attention to what your opponent is building and understand the correct units to make. You know, destroyers were completely worthless. There was really no reason to be building them. But, you know, the macro wasn't terrible, and I think the docking macro is pretty good from both players, so yeah, well played. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next game. Okay, and we're back. Game 2 begin. So we're taking it to Angel Wing this time. This is Garzerlake's pick. So Angel Wing is a very macro-heavy map. I think Garzerlake, I think I said this about his profile. I said he's more of a macro player, but he's still growing. So definitely the Angel Wing pick indicates to me that he loves the more secure macro style where you're able to get, you know, at least 18 collectors. But to be honest, on Angel Wing, I think you're probably fine getting 22 collectors pretty much every game. Because this is such an insular position with so many IUs. It's very, 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 very difficult to actually prevent someone from getting all of their collectors up. So, I believe I scuttled. Oh, I didn't. There we go. Anyway, over here we've got MDM with the Higaran in the gold. Or brown. I think it's gold. It's kind of gold, right? I think it's pretty cool. The more I look at it, the more I like it, actually. And over here, playing the Vega. Black and red. We have Garzerlake. Double probes again, still not sending them out immediately. Don't really know what's... Oh, he's not even... Well, that is... What are you doing, man? What are you up to? Where's your APM? There we go. What was that? A minute? A minute before assigning collectors to harvest? Very, I don't know. Maybe something popped up in real life that he had to deal with. As for MDM though, obviously a quicker start. Sends his probe faster as well. Garzerlake, I don't know what he's doing with his flagship. Needs to put it above the patch. Unless he's planning to move his flagship back to one of these two patches. Which I don't recommend. I'd definitely keep the flagship on the front patch. The flagship obviously is tankier and does slightly more damage. So, and obviously has the scuttle potential. So having it on a front patch like this is actually very good. Garzerlake sending his probes out now. MDM needs to rotate his mothership so that the drop-off is facing the patch. He actually did that last game, and this game he's not doing it. Also, I don't know where this carrier is. I don't know what it's doing. Like, it should be above this patch, right? We're also seeing him sending resource collectors over here for some reason. I have no idea why he does this. I see him do this all the time. He just expands really bizarrely. Like, why would you not send them over here? Yeah, there we go. Also, get your carrier. Get your carrier above this patch, so the drop-off is right here. Having this huge distance for the collectors to travel is hurting you. It's hurting you more than you think. Like, obviously it's hurting him more than he thinks, because he's not paying attention to it. He must just think, oh, it's fine, like, this doesn't matter. But it does matter, it matters a lot. Collector efficiency is enormous. Same with the mothership, you know, this is not optimal. How's Garzerlake doing? Slightly better, I think. Not much, though. I mean, both of these players with kind of miscontrolling their production ships in the early game here. Garzerlake with the fighters. MDM with the double fighters. Interesting. Another probe from Garzerlake. Was his first one cleared up? Yes, it was. Alright, so a more defensive position on this probe. At the same time, I don't know, I would have preferred it maybe over here, or here at least. Having it here is just asking for the scout to find it when it flies this direction. But at least he has eyes on his opponent. This carrier is pretty well positioned. I think this is about as good as you're going to get with the Vega carrier on this patch. It probably could... I think the optimal position on this patch with the Vega carrier is to have it in line, so like on this plane, facing outwards, like in this direction. Because the like they have a sort of runway this way, so having it jut inside the center of this patch is probably a little bit more optimal. Anyway, that's some sort of micro optimization thing. Garzerlake looks like he's actually giving up on trying to put his flagship above this patch. Just slaps a refinery on it. Which is, obviously it's not great, but I don't know, it's better than whatever he was doing before. I think he's also planning to move his flagship to this position up here and start mining from here. MDM with his own refinery looks like he's probably going to be taking this patch. Although you haven't really, like, you haven't taken this patch, really. Like, this mining time is so enormous, I just don't understand. It's such an easy thing to fix. Like, just get your carry and put it in the correct position. It really isn't that difficult, but I see players forget to do it all the time, so obviously it must be a more difficult skill than I imagined. Anyway, it looks like Garzerlake did notice a probe went into this cloud, but obviously the interceptors can't find it. If you want to find probes in clouds, you really need to use your own probes. Scouts can do it, but honestly probes are just best in that scenario. Neither player making any sort of aggressive moves. This is Angel Wing, which is... so you can sort of expect that sort of thing. You know, neither player is going to be doing anything too spicy. Just flying around, building up units, building collectors. Golden interceptors, huh? It even like shines a bit, look at that. Huh. That's pretty weird. I've always thought it was like, oh, that's ugly, it's like a muddy brown, but when I look at it properly, it's really quite a nice gold. Huh. Anyway, it looks like these interceptors moving forward just a little bit. I wonder if he's planning to actually be aggressive here. If he starts aggressing right now, he could actually kill a couple of collectors. Garzerlake's interceptors are very far away. One of these is, for some reason, a lance fighter. I have no idea why he has lance fighters already. Very curious decision to have made. What do you think? Do you think the lance fighter looks best, or the assault craft? I think they look about the same, don't they? Huh. Anyway, looks like MDM is indeed trying to take some potshots at some collectors. And tell a lie, he just flew straight past them. And he sees some interceptors. He starts to fly this way, then he starts to fly this way. Takes out one of these assault craft. His interceptors being shot at. Ow, 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 ow. Probably at this point I'd just get, like, this, you need to run. This is a bad fight. I have no idea why you're taking this fight. This, like, the flagship is worth 3 interceptor squadrons by itself. Add the carrier, which is worth about 1, maybe, probably about 75% of an interceptor squadron. Plus the close docks, plus the reinforcements popping out right here. I have no idea why you want to take this fight. What's your plan? What's your plan? Like, I feel like this is MDM's main problem. What's his plan? It looks like he just doesn't have any plan. It looks like he's just sort of flying around, just making whatever, and just randomly flying in, you know? It doesn't make much sense what he's doing. So the fight will go a little bit better for him when it's over here. Being underneath this flagship was really so bad for MDM. Being over here is a little bit better because not only is he out of flagship range, but he's also closer to his reinforcements and closer to his docking points. Needs to dock this one, needs to dock this one, needs to dock this one, needs to dock this one. Right? Yeah, at this point I'd just honestly get all my guys and move them over here and dock the weak ones. Looks like MDM may... Oh, I thought he was going to do that, but instead he starts flying around again. Interceptor goes down to Lancers eventually. Another one's about to go down for sure. This one's going to go down, this one's going to go down. Really zero idea why MDM thought he was going to fly over here. He's getting some return kills, but, you know, not fast enough. This assault craft leader's, you know, becoming unassailable. You need to run away at this point. It's time to run away. Like, you shouldn't be taking this fight anymore. If you run away now and manage to dock everything, you'll at least have enough interceptors back at home, so you can stall out some time, so you can build a carrier or something. And Garzerlake's not even building triple interceptors, he's building double interceptors. And his third queue is dedicated to heavy missiles. Please run away. Here we go. Carrier from MDM, which is good. You know, you do need to match that carrier from Garza. But what are you going to do about these heavy missiles? Like, what's the plan here? What assault craft? Bit out of position here. Sort of doing the same thing that MDM was just doing. Goes down. Looks like this interceptor squadron will go down in return though. Oh, I think it's an evasive actually. There's just one left. It might even survive. If it gets docked right now, it could survive. But it looks like all of MDM's interceptors are in fact in evasive. And Garzerlake honestly could probably throw up another carrier at this point. This is a huge amount of economy. What is the technology that we're going to see from MDM here? It needs to be corvettes. I'll just spoil that for you guys right now. It needs to be corvettes. Build one gunship and then focus on pulsars. Even at that point, I'm saying probably cut this interceptor facility, replace it with corvettes, go double vets and one fighter. You know, make 2 gunships and then focus nothing else but pulsar corvettes. You could optionally also open with the pulsars, make sure you kill any lancers, and then go make 2 gunships and then go back to pulsars. I think that might actually be better. As it stands, these heavy missiles are... I really don't know what to do about them. Like, they've already got their armor upgrade. There's 3 of them flying in now, which isn't a terrifying amount, but it's enough, right? It's enough. So there is the corvettes, which is a very astute call from MDM. I wonder if he's actually making destroyers here. There is a potential for that. He does have the advanced module, so I assume he's probably going to be getting improved manufacturing on something. Probably his mothership because it's cheaper. In which case we may see the destroyers coming out. As it stands though, there's just some pulsars flying around. For some reason they're shooting assault craft. Definitely need to be landing shots into the heavy missile frigates. Looks like they are getting around to that now. I just realized how cinematic this is, right? You know, you've got the Higarans against Higaran and the Vega are coming in from space. Anyway, this carrier is getting pretty low. It's at half health. It needs to build a cloak, or at the very least, it needs to run away. Probably going to lose this carrier, to be honest. As it stands, it doesn't look like he's making any move to save this carrier. It doesn't look like he's running away. It doesn't look like he's building a cloak. It doesn't look like he's repairing it. Spoiler alert, these pulsars are not going to kill the heavy missiles before the heavy missiles kill the carrier. Only now is the carrier running away. He waited until it was at 40% health before moving it. And it's going to go down. He's going to have to get quite lucky, and the engine systems are going to have to take several of these volleys in a row if this carrier wants to survive. We're seeing one missile hit cleanly. Engine, 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 engine. Oh, just one more missile will probably do it. Engines. Oh, more and more are landing into the engines. I can't believe this carrier actually might get away. I doubt it's going to get away, right? Just one missile coming in from the side will kill it. But it looks like Gaz is starting to switch his focus to this collector, which is not a bad call. I would like to see him finish this carrier off, though. The interceptor fight is being kind of inconclusive due to evasive tactics. I would like to see Garzerlake just tack on a couple of lance fighters to deal with the pulsars. Destroyer pops out. It doesn't have the armor upgrade. Oh, it does now. That was a very good timing on the upgrade. Mothership helping out immensely in this fighter battle. I would love to see just 2 gunship squadrons. They make so much difference, seriously. If I had to estimate the killing power of gunships right now, I'd say they're worth probably 1.5 interceptor squadrons. Maybe slightly less, actually. I'm not sure. I feel like they're slightly better than an interceptor squadron. Their damage is more consistent, though. Like, if an interceptor is flying straight, the best units that kill it is interceptors, but if it's flying all around like this, gunships will handle it very cleanly. It's a very consistent damaging unit. Destroyer does go down, but not before wasting a lot of time from these heavy missiles. The damage it provided was not honestly that great. We do see the Lancers coming in now for Garzerlake here. 2 Lancers on the field will clear up these pulsars very quickly. We do see this carrier being produced here, and the flagship is on the way. We're seeing 1, 2 frigate queues here. So 2 frigate queues in this scenario with strikecraft advantage will actually beat out the pulsars. You know, if you can handle these lance fighters, the pulsars can do great work, but as it stands, it's going to be very difficult. Also at this point, you know, there's so much pressure on these collectors, just grab them and start mining this patch or this patch. You need to kill this heavy missile frigate before you start focusing this one. Assaultcraft very low, but will dock. This one, same story. A couple of bombers actually on the field here for MDM. I told you he loves the bombers. I'm not really sure why though. And it looks like actually he's starting to clear up the interceptor count from Garzerlake. Garzerlake perhaps should have stuck with 3 interceptor queues and just 1 heavy missile queue. We'll have to see how this plays out. So a destroyer is worth 2,000 IUs. A heavy missile frigate I think is worth 700. So you need to kill 3 heavy missiles to make a destroyer worth it in the price. However, cost alignment is kind of a naive way of looking at it. There are other things to consider, such as build time, and the ability to actually take out objectives. You know, on the downtime of these destroyers, the heavy missiles were able to kill the collectors. There's a million things going on, so it's not just cost alignment, but I feel like in this scenario, with the fight going your way with the interceptors, maybe just stalling these heavy missile frigates with destroyers is not actually too bad of an idea. The carrier's moving further back now, which is a good idea. These are bombers, it looks like. So I'm actually kind of surprised, you know, bombers may pull their weight here. You know, Garzerlake is not winning this interceptor fight anymore. If the bombers have improved bombs, they could actually be very annoying. Oh, this is a bad idea. Don't do this, please don't do this. Oh god. No. Pulsars do not kill subsystems fast. You need to get them killing these heavy missiles. Don't do a role reversal and try and... this is a bad idea. Seriously, like, this is... bad idea. Really bad idea. If you want to kill subsystems, bombers, right? Also, you need to watch out for your mothership here. You probably need a cloak, you probably need the armor upgrade. I'm imagining a destroyer is about to pop out here. Looks like this frigate facility might not even go down. What happens to these bombers? There's 2 left on this squad, 2 left on this squad. They don't have the improved bombs upgrade, so it looks like they're not going to get it. Yeah, just... the decisions that MDM is making, he makes a good decision and then throws it away with a really bad decision. You know, why make bombers? Why not keep making interceptors? Because now the interceptor fight looks about even again, right? Because you stopped making your own interceptors. Oh please, for the love of God, don't use pulsars for this reason. They're so bad at it, it's such a waste of your damage. Like, what do you think is going to kill these heavy missile frigates? Like, nothing's going to kill them except for the pulsars. No, I don't know. This is it's really not going to end well for MDM. I feel this kind of move is just not going to work out. He might get a frigate facility, but it doesn't matter, right? The amount you're sacrificing to get this frigate facility is way too high. I mean, it could even be sold here. Destroyer goes down. And I think that was a cell as well, so he didn't even kill it. He lost every pulsar he had to... what? To make his opponent sell a module? Yeah. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Use bombers to kill subsystems. Or cloaked fighters. They're pretty good as well. But what I've just seen with the pulsars, you didn't have the luxury of time to be doing that. You just did not have the time of day. I believe this is probably going to be a scuttle, right, on this mothership. It looks like these, most of Garzerlake's army might be in range of this. Oh! Big scuttle. Actually, no, that was a death. Sorry, my bad. If that was a scuttle, though, that would have been huge. MDM calls the GG, says thanks for the games. Garzerlake says GG in return. And it was good, right? You know, good moves made by both players. I feel like Garzerlake overall just a more consistent player, whereas MDM kind of all over the place, right? Didn't really have much planning going on, and every time he made a good move, he then followed it up with a very questionable move, which really scuppered him. Unfortunate to see, but still not a bad showing, right? The Higaran's fall. They were trying to defend Higara there, and they lost. That's non-canon. I don't believe it. Anyway, so that was MDM versus Garzerlake in the semi-finals of Losers. So it looks like Garzerlake will be going to Losers finals, and there he'll meet Sanjo. I believe they've already played with each other. I might be wrong though. But that'll be a match to watch because both those guys have improved tremendously, and I believe they've been playing against each other quite significantly as well. So it could be quite interesting to see any like little metas that they've developed with each other. I think it'll be a really interesting game to watch. Anyway, I believe that's it. Aside from in fact, thinking about it, we're just on finals matches here. We've got the losers finals and the winners finals left to do, and that's about it. And then Balcora Cup will be done, and we'll have a winner. Yeah, it's been quite a ride. I've really enjoyed watching specifically these newer players improve. It's been really exciting for me to see people I've never seen play the game become competent at it, and hopefully they'll continue to improve and eventually become veteran players and start kicking our asses, right? But anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. I'll see you guys next time, right? Ciao, ciao.